Hello. Welcome to an amazing WOLFpak Live. I am your host, Wendy Fortino, and I'm here representing WOLFpak, who we are the official badge of the UFC, if you didn't know. And we're now starting to get to know some of these amazing fighters, past and current. And today we have the one and only Cain Velasquez, who quite literally changed the game of the heavyweight division in the UFC. He's a legend. He has incredible history. I cannot wait to talk to him. And I first want to know, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I'm a super fan, obviously. Who isn't? And we offline, we talked about some really fun things that I can't wait to get into. But I think the best way for us to start this, to just get right into it, is to actually start with a little highlight clip that I put together to kind of show your journey and your history so far from the very beginning. So we're going to watch that first, like a minute and a half.
His mixed martial arts debut tonight here at the St. Mark Center, representing the American Kickboxing Academy from Arizona, Cain Velasquez.
And you know the game plan for Cain, get it right to the mat, and he does so successfully.
He's got a beautiful double under. He's already past the guard. He's sliding up on his head and just pummeling away. And this is how I see this whole fight going.
Setting the tempo from
First debut this evening, Cain Velasquez.
Comes to the octagon with only 2 professional fights. This is up, but thrown back down. Cain Velasquez trying to finish the fight early. One down, who knows what will come for the heavyweight newcomer.
This is going to be the biggest fight in the history of the heavyweight division.
Cain Velasquez eats an elbow. He's blue cheating to the body. Lesnar's in big trouble. It's all over. Cain Velasquez.
3 times the title has been on the line in all 3 fights. So,
in the 5th and final round.
Cain Velasquez, the former UFC heavyweight champion, is one of the greatest heavyweight fighters that's ever lived.
10 seconds. Velasquez might get the stop here. It is all over.
To the ground, a classic Cain Velasquez beatdown.
Oh, does that bring back some memories?
Yeah, it does.
So take me back to, I mean, you made your debut in the UFC in 2006, right?
No, that first one was a Strikeforce fight.
That's right. Strikeforce with
Yes.
Scott Booker. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
All right. But before that, you were wrestling, and it was after your 3rd year of wrestling in college at Arizona State that you decided that you want to start MMA. So tell me about that, and then how you discovered AKA.
Yeah. So, I was wrestling at Arizona State, and I just came to a realization that wrestling wasn't enough. If that makes any sense. That I wanted to kind of up the ante. I guess I wanted to get more physical. I was always just a very physical wrestler. So
You wanted to punch.
yes, I wanted to punch and strike, and I've always been a fan of mixed martial arts. I've always been a fan of karate. Bruce Lee growing up. I just remember those were like one of the first movies that like really had an impact on me.
Mhm.
And I remember like just training by myself, right?
Yeah.
Like grabbing sticks and stuff and doing martial arts on my own. Just what I saw on TV. So
Okay.
that was always with me. So I got into wrestling. I love wrestling, but then it was to a point where I got to a point in college where, okay, I want to do more. And I see that the sport of mixed martial arts is growing, and I could still do my wrestling and also start learning the striking that I wanted to learn. So the punches, the kicks. So I told my coach there at Arizona State, his name is Tom Ortiz, and he got me in touch with American Kickboxing Academy here in San Jose.
Mhm.
So I finished out my wrestling season. I was a 2-time All-American, and then I just packed up all my stuff in my car and came out here and just started, just started to train him. Like, I didn't know what I was doing necessarily. I just knew I was going to do this. Yeah.
That sounds like a really humble testament to what happened. You said you were telling a story. It was kind of funny. You had gone out to see Javier at American Kickboxing Academy, and he knew that there was like a Mexican wrestler coming out of Arizona State, and he didn't know what to expect. And then he saw you, and the first time he started sparring with you and working with you, he knew you were a star. So that story sounded kind of funny when you told it. So I want to hear it again from you.
So, I mean, I didn't know what I was getting myself into when I got to the gym, but I remember, when I first met Javier, he looked at me just just surprised.
Yeah.
That, for whatever reason, but he said, like, you're a Mexican heavyweight? Like, I don't know what he was expecting necessarily, but I'm like, yeah, man, like, I didn't know if he watched wrestling either, if he was into the college wrestling scene. But he told me the story a bunch of times, but I just remember the first time sparring there with guys that were like more obviously more high level than I was. All I had was wrestling. But I just, in getting hit, I stayed very calm and collected. I got hit with the leg kick and I picked the guy up, but I didn't slam him or anything, I made it very gentle, like I'll keep going if you want me to, I'll raise the stick if you want me to as well. So I think that just really surprised him that I was very calm and like I guess the heat of the battle, I guess.
Yeah. I know Habib was saying that you have a lot of control. Like you can hold back, or you could really go for it. And when you're training with people, you know how to hold back, you know how to go for it. Yeah. And you also, so go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, so no, that was something that I really learned a lot from Javier, especially. He put it very simple to me. He just told me, Cain, if you break your toys, you have nothing to play with. Okay, so I was always just very like 100% go. And then once I knew I started getting a lot better, like it all started coming together, that I had to kind of handicap myself in different ways to still get the same workout that I wanted to still learn, to still grow, but also to have my partners come back, have like my sparring partners come back the next day, because we're not.
If you break their toe, they're not coming back.
Yes. So it was a little learning for me. It was to like really be controlled, and also to be so good technically that I can play with people if I wanted to, and still beat them. Yeah, but I'm just kind of playing like that cat and mouse thing, Yes.
My microphone is a little bit funky, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm not. I don't know why, but for some reason I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Somebody just said something about that, so I want to make sure I fix it. Let's see. Okay, let's see if this is better. Is this better? I think so. Okay. Yeah. There's a little bit of a scratch, but I don't know why. I want you to do the majority of the talking anyway. So, all right. So, okay, Cain, you were at American Kickboxing Academy and you were training with other champions, other legends, and you seem like you seem like a really cool, calm, collected guy. But I want to know, how was that, and was there any tension or anything like that?
So, I'm sure you spoke to Javier. It's like anywhere that I go, kind of new. I'm very quiet. I'm just observing. So it was like my first year training. I didn't really speak to anybody. I just kind of absorbed who everybody was. So I'm just absorbing, learning. Even in my first couple fights in the UFC, you can see that I wasn't very vocal. I kind of kept to myself. I just wanted to go in and fight, and that was pretty much it, right? But the more you spend time with people, the more that you start to open up, the more you realize that it's okay to open up, You know, that you're not just training partners, that you're friends, you're brothers. You're going to see each other more than you're going to see your family.
Yeah.
So yeah, just with time they got to see me open up Javier and Joanna, you know, and yeah, now they can't shut me up. So
Now they can't shut you up. This
yeah.
is a crazy. I mean, I don't want to like leap over. You don't have to go in order. There's no rule that says you have to go in order. But I do want to leap over. There was in 2015, Javier had 3 reigning champions, which was really impressive. And tell me about those times, because that to me, that's a historical period, I think, in MMA, and you were in that clique. So tell me a little bit about that, how it was to share that with all these guys.
Yeah, I mean, we all just kind of grew our MMA career together, you know. When I was there first, when DC came in, and then when Luke came in, and then DC came in. And as soon as they started, I kind of knew already that they were going to be champions, you know. It was already known that they had the abilities, the mental strength, and also the physical, you know, to put it all together and to be really, really great champions. So we kind of just knew it already, and it was just again just an honor to have that experience with them, to train with them, to get to know them as people, as fighters, as brothers. So I mean, but it was kind of well known that, look, we have some really good guys here. You know, they're going to be champions. Somebody with DC, like DC, I mean, we sharpened each other up. You know what we did. Again, I was in there every day to try to win, to try to be the best. You know, and he was in there for the same reason. And to meet that every day, it's tough, you know, but it makes you so much. It makes you who you are. You know, it tests you every day. It's that every day of like, one day he gets the better of me, one day I get the better of him, and you're just not okay with losing that one day.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to come back with something more. So it just kind of that evolution just kind of keeps going over and over again every day. And it's the same thing with Luke. I mean, when I would train with him, especially in the beginning, when he started getting really good, it was hard to deal with. He was just very hard to deal with. Very good athlete, strong punches, strong kicks, great jiu-jitsu. So anywhere in the gym that you found, I mean, all the guys were very good.
Yeah. So DC talks about you and his relationship a lot, and how you two were, as soon as he came to the gym, you took him under your wing, and you were to the right, you were to his left, and he talks about you like you guys are brothers, right? Never, I mean, you're gonna be there forever for each other. What is like what's a memory that you have with him that you might want to share? Like something that you just that makes you think of good times.
Yeah, I just knew he's always just a very good talker, you know.
Yeah.
But he would also just start a lot of shit at the gym. Like it was always playful, you know, but people.
And then you had to clean up his mess.
No, I would just watch it. He'd be like a puppeteer, you know, like he'd tell somebody, this guy did this to you, he said this to you, and then he'd make those guys kind of get at it, you know. It was just, for him, it was just having fun.
He's a shit disturber.
Yeah, so every day it was always like he made it an environment to have it very fun, even though like we're doing something very serious, you know, we're doing something that's uncomfortable, that tests you every day, but he also made it very fun by just the way that he always is.
Yeah. What about Luke? A memory you have with him?
Luke's just a funny individual, man. Once you just get to know Luke, you just have to like love him for who he is.
Yeah.
You know? The best things that I saw were just the drama between him and DC. Again, DC would just get at him, you know, he knows how to push his buttons, and then Luke doesn't care who's pushing his buttons. Like he's gonna do something about it. He's gonna fight back. So we've had like times where Luke was just like, I'm not doing this today, and just like jumps out of the cage, you know, in the middle of sparring, like jumps out, like nobody lets him out. He jumps out. He's like, forget this. I'm not doing this. So a lot of times it was things like that. It was like just brothers, you know, getting at each other, you know, pushing their buttons. But for me, man, it was more just, I was just watching it on, just have a good time watching it. You know, it's like watching a movie or a soap opera. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think the interesting thing about MMA is that it kind of is a soap opera if you think about it, because you might have some animosity against somebody, and you're literally able to fight them. And the worst thing that's going to happen is what? You get a foul. I mean, you can kick someone's ass if you don't like them, and you're going to get fouled, right? It's the perfect sport if you want to. Speaking of which, okay, something that really fascinated me is when you first won your title in 2010, and Brock Lesnar was the reigning heavyweight champion, and you just came and destroyed him. I don't think he was expecting that. And it did seem like there was a little bit of tension between you two off the ring, off the cage, and in the cage. So I want to know, tell me about that.
So yeah, at the time when Brock was champion, it just seemed like he was very hard to beat. And then I guess a lot of people saw me as just very undersized. That I couldn't deal with his strengths, you know. And also, well, he made some comments of him being so confident in the fight that if he won, he was going to drink a Corona and eat a burrito and honor my heritage, you know, kind of thing. So, but for him, I understood like what he was doing as far as like selling the fight, right?
Right. He's from the WWE, so he's like, you know, entertainment.
Yeah, it's entertainment. Yes, you know, it's how involved or how can we get people to watch this? So he was very good at that. You know, even though if he was serious or not about it, it doesn't matter, you know. But I knew I could it's just that knowing inside of you that you know you can do this. You know, like I saw what he had. My coaches did too, you know, strong wrestling and we knew just being a bigger guy, he does hit hard. He's not very comfortable in a stand-up, but he does hit hard. So you gotta be aware of that. And if you get taken down, but when you get taken down, you have to keep getting up. And that's what we did. That's what we did for that camp. The majority of it was focus on the bottom and just keep getting up. So I would start sparring and have DC on top of me wearing gloves, and I'd be wearing gloves, and I'd have to start. I'd have to get up. I have to get up and then start sparring from there.
That's so cool. It's like you guys know each other's opponents and you're acting with the strengths that your opponent has in practice. That is so cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So we try to imitate, you know, what the other person's going to see in the fight. But for me, it was that like we knew we were going to get taken down, to just keep getting up. So I start from the bottom, get up, and then whenever, you know, Bob Cook or Javier would say, you know, get back down, I'd have to stop the sparring, get back down, no matter where I was, and then work my way up again. So, but yeah, DC helped me out with that a lot. Yeah.
We're not doing anything in order, by the way, because I have to talk about this. You brought the fight back to him. In 2019, was it 2018 or 2019 that you decided to leave the UFC and go to the WWE?
Yeah.
2019, I think, right? Okay. And I can't play this whole thing because I don't want my video get taken down. But here you were, you came to the WWE. Now, this scene that was played out, you walked out. Did he know that you were coming, or was that a surprise to him?
That was a surprise to him.
I thought so, because the second one was you guys obviously planned it out, but this one was a surprise.
Yes.
And he ran away from you. You walked into the cage. Is it the ring or the cage in WWE? I need help with my lingo, so you'll have to excuse me, okay? Thank you for being patient on that, by the way. So you came into the ring, then he got out of the ring and ran away from you.
Yeah.
And there's a clip where you could really see that there's a really big size difference between the two of you.
Yes.
So here we are. You two are in a face-off. Tell me about this. Give me the rundown.
Well, I mean, it's what are we gonna do? Are we gonna fight again?
How did this idea get brought to your attention? Who coordinated this event to happen?
Well, I always had a dream of trying to do of doing some lucha, so doing lucha libre. So I did 2 shows with AAA from Mexico, and I believe that got the attention of the WWE.
Nice.
And we went in from there, just kind of, yeah.
You're just bare knuckle punching him.
Yeah.
You don't mess around. You don't F around. You like walk in there and you just bare knuckle just started punching the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, so then there was obviously the ongoing thing between you two. I'm gonna say I think that you are the most badass.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
not just saying that because you're sitting here. I'm not being biased here. So
Thank you very much.
you're welcome. All right, so gosh, my voice does sound kind of scratchy, but that's okay. We'll get through it. Okay, so you came back, you regained your title in 2016, then you went off and you decided that you wanted to do WWE. From there, I mean, you had quite a few injuries that probably, didn't help the situation. But we talked a little bit about you going back. Where do you feel about that in this moment right now, about going back to anything?
As far as going back to that, I think I've done what I had to do with myself in that, it's learning for myself. I put everything I could into it, so much so that I really broke down my body. And I don't mean that like in a bad way. I really just learned the strength of my mind, in that, in doing so, right? There was a great learning experience that I was going through. I love what I did. I love that I got to go in every day and just kind of go crazy in that way, just push my body to the limits every day. So I know my mind is strong enough to do anything, because of that. And I learned so much from fighting. And I learned myself, essentially. I learned myself in that way. Got to be really comfortable with being uncomfortable. That fight's never gone, It's always a part of you. We just need to start putting it into other areas once that fight is done. There's always another fight. Yep.
Yeah. Joe Rogan was saying that your greatest strength is also what pulled you down, which is your insane tolerance for pain. I think that's probably why the cream that rises to the top gets injured the most and has the most longevity. This is, I think, in any sport. And I'm an athlete myself, and I think that the greatest champions obviously can handle the most pain and the most heartache and the most defeat. You have taken that will and that ability to fight in your entire life. You've obviously gone through a lot, right? So tell me about some more in terms of what you've had to fight, where you're at right now in your life, and share whatever you want.
Okay. So yeah, I have a sentencing for something that I did, and it has to do with my family. It has to do with my child. And I guess the most important thing about it is just awareness. It's the most important thing that we could ever do is talk to our children appropriately. Even at a young age, even when things seem like they're not ready, like you still have to have that communication somehow, you know, to let them know that they're always loved, that they're always protected. You know, instill them at a young age of what's correct, what's proper, you know, what's right touching, what's right, what's not right, you know, and it's all for them to feel comfortable and safe. You know, all that needs to be addressed, you know, and hopefully nothing like that happens. But I mean, it's thing of being aware, having awareness, having an open book to talk about kind of anything, you know. Yeah.
You have a beautiful family.
Thank you.
Yeah. What trip is this that you're on? This looks like Disneyland.
No, we were in Cancun.
Oh, why did I think?
No, yeah. No.
I don't know why, but for some reason, when I first glanced, I thought that your wife was holding it like Mickey Mouse, but I realized it's not Mickey Mouse. It kind of has a little bit of like the Disneyland feel.
It does, yes.
Yeah. No, you have such a beautiful family. They've been with you through some of your. Tell me, your youngest. Now, was she born yet when you did your last UFC fight?
So my youngest is a son. He was born in 2017.
Yeah.
My daughter.
Oh, I'm sorry,
born,
your son.
That's
what I meant. I was looking at your daughter first.
Okay. Yeah, and then my daughter was born in 2009. So
yeah,
but we never let them go see the fights.
Oh, really?
We just felt a little awkward. Like we told them about it, you know, and we always asked if they wanted to see it later. But we didn't want them to have a traumatic experience with, like, you know, not necessarily understanding what was happening. But when I first did my first Lucha event with AAA in Mexico, that was the first time my daughter got to see me do something live, and she stole the show because you saw her in the crowd and she was just crying and she was just so happy, like, to see me be, like, it was amazing. Like, I saw that. And that was, just a great memory. Yeah.
See, it's good that she got to see you live.
Yes.
That's so cool. I know. I was actually talking to Mark Coleman a few weeks ago, and he's all beat up and everything like that, and his daughters were really young, and there's like this video of his daughters coming, and they're leaning on him and crying. But he won, but he's just gashed and bloody, and it's hard because, you know, kids don't totally understand. They know they're celebrating that you won, but later in life they're gonna be like, God, our dad's such a badass.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And you want them to think that, right?
Yeah, you want them to think the world of you, you know, and also that love has to be, you know, genuine. Has to be a lot of, you know, 100% compassion towards them. You know, I believe we're always doing better as far as generations go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just having that ultimate love and compassion and understanding for them. Yeah.
Aww. You know what's so cool about you is you're always working to improve yourself. You're always trying to figure out how to make yourself a better person. I think that it's so obvious, even if somebody doesn't know you personally, just your aura, the way you operate, the way that you share your life and your story. And we were talking a little bit about this, but you have recently gone into plant medicinals. Tell me about that. That's kind of cool.
I had an experience with losing my brother and my mom in the same year, and it took me a while to kind of like get over that. My brother had just a very traumatic event in leaving, and it was just hard, you know. So I found out about this plant medicine that was going on. I looked into it just a little bit, just as far as the event, not necessarily what are the effects or anything like that. But it happened to be on my brother's anniversary of his death. So it was like green light. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm getting into, but but I did a one-day ayahuasca trip, and then the next day I did that. And then I did a 5-MeO DMT the next day, which is something a little different. I felt like I did so much learning in those 2 days.
Really?
It was like I felt like I found out, or I feel like I finally understood what love was, what unconditional love was.
Wow.
Love for nothing. It's just love, just to love.
Yeah.
It is have compassion for somebody, whatever stage of life that they're in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We're all going towards the same place, the same goal. Essentially, we're always, getting better as we go along. Even though we stumble and we take a left and we go backwards and all that, but we're only gonna light ourselves for so long, or we're gonna be in dark for so long until we really see the light, like just in ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So in that, it was a lot of learning. I mean, I got really comfortable with knowing that this is all predestined. God's hand is in this, and I think I have free will, and I don't. I give up. I don't fight anymore. I give in to what you want me to do, to what you want me to be. I give in to others. I don't fight with others. So I'm okay with everything how it is. And I know it's all for learning. Every situation is a learning situation. It's not good or bad. Like, it's, what did that teach me? It taught me this. Okay. Well, if I can not be in the situation again, I won't. And then necessarily I can't tell other people, don't do this, because we usually learn from us doing it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So even with my kids, like, I don't say I told you so or anything like that. Like, I'm just there for them, to love on them, because they gotta figure it out themselves as well. I can't hide them from the dangers of the world, because they have to grow too.
It's like you wish you could, but you don't. Like don't touch the hot stove, but do, right?
You gotta learn. Yeah. You're gonna have to learn, and once you do learn, then you can go ahead and move on from that and go to something else. And there's always some form of learning. And plant medicine not is necessarily is for everyone, and not everybody.
Yeah.
It's everyone will find what they're looking for in their own path. For myself, I just feel like I've done it for a long time. Like, I don't think this is my first lifetime doing plant medicine. I think I've done it before. I feel very comfortable there.
Wow.
So I know it's not everybody's road. Everybody's road is different, and it's all okay. We're all doing the same thing. We're always getting better.
Did you go into it with just this open mind? Just because you have to. I don't know much about that, but I feel like if you're gonna go down that road, you gotta be. Sorry, I'm gonna see if I can change this. I feel like if you're gonna go down that road, you gotta be open to really learning about yourself, because I mean, I'm sure it could have multiple different outcomes or experiences based off of how you go into it. So you said you didn't really know what you were getting yourself into, but you had to have your mind open, and somebody had to be in your ear about, okay, when you go, like, this is where your mindset has to be. You're smiling. I feel like this is a conversation you have with somebody.
I talk to people, and you're only ready when you say you're ready. It's not like, oh, I'm not ready yet or whatever. Like, just the way that I am, I went into it without necessarily knowing what I was, what I was getting into. Like, but I was okay with going deep within myself. If that's what I had to do. I took it as, I guess, a fight. I guess you would say is, it doesn't matter what happens.
That's cool.
It doesn't matter what happens. I'm gonna go in deep, right?
Yeah.
And if we go in deep waters, I'm gonna keep going there. So that's what I did. Is even as I'm getting deeper with myself during this experience, I allowed myself to keep going, and I pushed myself to keep going. So again, I've done that in training and fighting, where I really just pushed my mind and body. I did the same thing with that. I went as deep as I could, and until the body just had to pretty much shut off. You know, it's having that type of mind. It's you know, if we talk about that situation, that's every situation in life is acceptance.
Right.
There's no fighting. There's acceptance for what things are.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that space, I gave myself full acceptance to go to wherever I had to.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I found more healing through that. I found more love. I found a deeper connection to God, to the universe, deeper connection to my peers and people, and yeah.
I think that my fascination with you is that in order for you to have accomplished everything you've accomplished, from being a champion wrestler in high school to an All-American wrestler in college to going on and being a heavyweight champion in UFC, it's kind of like you see somebody with a pattern like that, and it's got to be so much more than just this person is really talented. Like this person, you obviously have an incredible skill set. You're one of the most well-rounded fighters I think anybody's ever known, arguably the best. But it's not just your skill and your talent, the mindset, your ability to constantly see everything as a learning experience and to take the losses, take the wins, constantly be fighting and growing and fighting and growing. I don't know. It's so fascinating to me because there's a commonality between champions like you who rise to the top like that. And it's what you take with you now, even though you're not fighting right now. I say right now because who knows? Never say never, right?
Yeah.
But now you're taking that fight with you into your life as you are right now.
Yeah.
That's the most fascinating thing for me.
Well, I guess I don't like surface stuff, you know. I don't like friendships that are on the surface. If I get in something that I really like, I want to go in as deep as I can. I want to learn all about it. I want to learn the good, the bad about it. I want to lose myself in it, you know. And in every situation, I'm willing to die for it, you know. If it had, like that to me doesn't. I know that risk is involved for everything that I've done, and I'm okay with that because whatever happens is supposed to happen. But I want the fullness of it, and then we go into that with friendships, with relationships, you know, with ourselves. You know, it's number one is ourselves. You know, how deep can we go with ourselves? How comfortable can we be with ourselves? How much can we love ourselves to spread that around? You know, first you, first me, number one. I have to love myself so much that it starts overflowing to others, to my family, to my kids, to everyone that I meet. Even if somebody like I don't even know them, but I treat them as I've known you forever.
I feel that. Yeah. Definitely. I'm sorry. My voice is really scratching in this. No, I mean, I think that's really clear. I think it really shows with you, you know. I was gonna ask you something and I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I know what I was gonna ask you. Your mindset, the way that you operate, you're coaching now. Do you have these heart-to-heart conversations with your athletes about what it takes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, again, I'm very much an open book, you know, with a lot of people, even though it may not seem like it, I am. And there has to be just a mutual love there, you know. This person's willing, you know, is doing what I love to do, but also it's not just fighting for themselves, they're fighting for their family, they're fighting for me, you know, like they want to make me proud, all that, like, so I need to give them everything as well, you know. just give them all of myself, time, my heart as well, you know, just all that. So we know that we're on the same page, that we're here for each other, that again, we're just learning, and I'm helping you learn in the way that I think, you know, you need help learning, and hopefully you're open to that. And, you know, the dreams that they have, you know, the dreams that I had.
Yeah.
And now versus me seeing it through myself, I get to see it through them, through somebody else, somebody that I didn't know that I would cross paths with, but I do, and I did, right? So yeah.
What about Javier? I know that when you came to him, this is how you're wired, but did he kind of help shape some of that when you two met?
Yeah, there's a lot of learning. He opened up himself to me, you know, and I knew right away, as soon as I got to know him and train with him, I knew right away that if I want to do anything in the sport, I need to be close to him. He knows it. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
He's a master at this. So I just need to be, and then just with me and him spending time together, I get to see who he was, you know.
Yeah.
Just a very loving individual. I love him, man. He's amazing person. So much knowledge, you know, and it's just two personalities coming together, you know, to create something. And you know, we have a heart in it together to you know, he's there for me, I'm there for him, you know, we're making cool stuff happen. So just amazing memories that we have together, you know.
There is a huge fascination with him too. There's a fascination with the whole, AKA the whole world that you all are in together. And I think that the fascination comes from the fact that when you have a gym, you have a coach, you have so many champions produced out of the same environment. Everybody wants to know, like, what is the magic? What the heck is it about this group of people, about this energy that makes it so effective, so productive? And I guess I'm also just so fascinated, wondering, like, what was the magic when you initially were like, if I'm going to go anywhere, I got to stick with Javier.
Yeah.
What was it that made you feel that way?
Just his knowledge of the sport, like not just the sport. I mean, it translates to other things, but it's his knowledge of what of combat sports. Yeah. He just knows that so well that he's the one who did it all. You know, he is AKA. He's the one who did it. It's his mind. It's his heart. It's his will. It's his strength. Just endless amounts of knowledge that he has with this stuff, you know. He's just so good at that. He's I call him a master. He's a master at it, you know. So he's the one who did it all, and he's continuing to do it. That's how good he is. Yeah.
Well, you came with a wrestling background and became extremely well-rounded, striking master. I mean, you do it all so well. It's pretty crazy. I would never, you know, there's a lot of people that I would right away, I would say, okay, that person, right away, I would say that person's a wrestler. But with you, it's hard to tell because you're a master at so many different martial arts that it's hard to tell what your main one was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it took a little while. My biggest thing that I had to learn that was the hardest for me was to generate the power. You look at my first fights, I hit people a lot, but there was no power necessarily behind it. And that was just working with Hav and also going inside myself and, you know, kind of dissecting, like, okay, why am I not hitting as hard as I should?
Yeah.
And it just starts to click, you know. Again, you're searching for something and you're gonna find it. So I just found that with my body type and just however my body works and mind works, I'm not a natural strong puncher that I really have to take my time with it. Sit down, you know, use my feet, my hips. It all comes from that, and throw my whole body behind something. And don't try to rush it to go to the next thing. Like, I gotta sit there and just be fully committed. You know, I gotta commit to throwing this.
Right.
Even if I may get hit in the process, but I'm gonna throw this as hard as I can out. Yeah.
You weren't a strong puncher. You're such a strong puncher now that your most recent fight, you were punching bare knuckle.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we learn, and that's I can see a lot in people, like, because I had the same thing, you know, and I can see how and that's what Hav taught me a lot as well, was how to generate the power. He's very good at that.
Yeah.
Him, and then his previous coach, Pops. So I see that in people, and that's like one of the first things that I see. I'm like, oh, we can get a lot more power out of you, but it's gonna take some work. You know, you just have to believe and commit. Like with anything else, you have to be fully committed.
Yeah.
To do this one technique, you know, and it's scary because you're in the fire, right? You can get hit, but you have to say F all that, and this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna commit and blast through this. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone just made a comment about how you're transparent and all that kind of stuff. I know this is my theory, and I mean, tell me what your thoughts are. But my theory is, I feel like when somebody is at the top, it's hard to not be humble just by default, because to get to the top, you have to experience a lot of defeat, a lot of heartache. You get humbled a lot to get to that place. And I don't think they don't see the losses. They don't see all the defeats. They don't see all the humbling that happens. So when you talk to somebody who's so down to earth and so just easygoing, you go, God, that's not what I was expecting. But it's because that's what it takes to be a champion. That's my theory. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, you know, especially with fighting, again, people don't see necessarily the hard work that we're doing in the background. But then when you go out, you have 15 minutes or 25 minutes to get the job done. And in that moment, you know, you're the most vulnerable. People see you at, you know, this is one time is when you have to go out and get it done, you know. So people are going to see the wins, the losses, just in that. But they're not, obviously, we all have family losses and all those things that also, you know, come with us. And I've been through the ups and I've been through all the downs and everything. And people have seen my journey through the, you know, through all of it. So you really can't hide. You really can't hide anymore, you know. Like everything's out there, especially my stuff. Like it's all out there.
Was that hard for you?
Huh?
Was it hard for you to be so famous and popular and have so much of your personal life out for everybody to? Yeah.
Definitely. No, definitely. I'm very, again, very reserved, especially back then, you know, even more so. But, you know, the more that I got to be around people, the more that I got to give them their time, you know, like really sit down, just give them their time, even if it was just for like something very quick, you know. That's something that I've learned to do now forever, you know. And then also now it's like I feel like people know my ups and downs, you know, all of them, you know, all my stuff. So it's like I really can't hide anymore. You know, so I just have to be myself and just come from a good place, you know, come from where I want to come from, and that's from right here, you know. Yeah.
That's there's something so I have so much respect for you. You're just like, hey, people don't understand this, how difficult it is to be in the spotlight, and all the people that want to talk shit or they want to say whatever they want to say. This is something I struggle with way more than you do. So maybe you can help me with this. But people, they want to say so many things about you, and they're on the other side of the screen, behind a computer. They're not putting themselves out there. You're the one putting yourself out there. So it's just so funny to me when you're the one who is putting yourself out there, and then you have people that just want to. They don't even know what it's like. You know what I mean?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't. People
That's the
have
best
voices.
answer.
People have voices. Everyone has a voice. You know,
Yeah.
whether they say it to you, whether they say it behind a screen, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get the good and the bad of it. It's just their opinion.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Really.
Well, there's two parts to that, right? It's the fact that like how you handle it, which that's what you're talking about.
Mhm.
But I guess I'm just actually talking shit about the people.
Well,
Like what the heck? What gives you the courage to speak out about somebody when you're not putting yourself out there? You know what I mean?
well, for me in fighting, and having losses as well, it's like, again, even when I didn't hit hard, I always got the good and bad of it, right? Like, oh, but he's not he doesn't hit hard, like he'll never do it. You kind of just have to stop listening. It's like everybody is always a critic, and this is
Right.
even growing up, like your own parents, right?
Right.
You can't do this. You can't. Well, none of that matters. Eventually you're gonna know. None of it matters. It's whatever you think.
So I guess you're so nice. Thank you. But I'm talking about you're out there fighting, getting bloodied, you're getting punched, you're punching. Meanwhile, the guy that's sitting on the couch eating popcorn is like, man, if I was in there, I'd be like throwing punches way better than Cain. Like, what is he doing? Why does he do a right hook? I would be so out there doing that as they're drinking a beer, and you know what I mean?
Yes, none of it matters. It just matters what you think.
So you
That's
can
all.
let me talk
That's
your
all
shit.
that's
You
gonna
don't have to.
matter. That's forever what's gonna matter in everyone. Don't let anybody tell you cannot or can do something. Like, it matters what you think.
Yeah.
Do you love what you're doing? Do you want to do that? That's all that matters. It's never the people around you. They may even give you some more fuel, but it really doesn't matter. You have to find that within yourself.
Yeah, I like that.
So yeah.
This has become a motivational talk for me. Thank you.
Oh, very cool. You're welcome. Thank you.
I do want to talk. I talked a little bit about. I talked to Javier a little bit about this, but I want to talk to you too. You two are doing this Global Fight League, which is really cool. Explain that.
So Javier is the coach of Team Dubai. I'm the team manager for Team Dubai. Global Fight League is a MMA league that is a team-based league. So we're gonna have teams. So there's teams. A team from Dubai, LA team, Miami team. So all these teams are gonna come together, and we're gonna have a tournament-style based fight, right? With whatever team wins according to points at the end of that day, then they're gonna move up the bracket, right? Until we get a winner eventually.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to ask. You know exactly what I'm going to ask. I want to know. There's going to be probably some drama because you two are picking, or Javier picked athletes who already have coaches. He's going to be acting as their coach for the Global Fight League. And I guess my thing is, I just feel like that's going to be really crazy because fighters are used to having their camp in their corner at a fight.
Yeah.
And this is going to be unique and different because it's not going to be just the camp. Javier is going to be there, and the athlete might want Javier in their corner, you in their corner. What is your prediction on how that's going to go down?
Well, I have all the faith in Javier as far as being a coach. His game plans have always been correct. They're always correct. Now it all depends on what the fighter thinks and what the other coaches think on the other, the other, like his coaches, right? So Javier and I have been through this a lot, where we've been with other coaches and other fighters, and you're just there to support them.
Yeah.
Right. You're not trying to change them in any way.
Yeah.
Like, if they listen to the good stuff, the positive stuff, the stuff that we know is correct, the stuff that Javier knows is correct, and that their coaches are on the same page.
Yeah.
Great. That's not always going to happen, and we understand that.
Right.
So it's going to the fighter. What do you think about this? Okay, cool. Then that's what we're going to do. Now we're on the same page versus your coach said this. I don't believe that. We need to do this. No, we all need to be on the same page and work for the same goal, you know?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you don't like it, then you can fight it out. Right?
Yeah. They will. I mean, it's going to be okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to make it work. It's not about drama. It's just about helping other people, you know, and having great fights, right? That's essentially what we're, yeah.
You know, in MMA, you don't really have to have drama. You get to handle anything you need to handle. Like I said, the worst that's going to happen is there's going to be a foul, but you guys could fight it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yes, and then obviously there's some people that can make it really good to do a lot of really good drama to get people really attracted to the fights. Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's what happened with the Brock Lesnar thing. He came in from WWE.
Yeah.
And that is all about drama, right? You guys are about skill and technique and rules.
Yeah.
WWE is all about, or professional wrestling. I'm saying WWE, but I mean, you know, I'm talking about the whole world of professional wrestling. It's, you know, you're hitting each other with chairs. You have storylines. You have drama. It's a totally different world. And so when people come in from that world, I think that's what brings the drama.
I mean, there's, you know, fighting, because it is so globally, you know, renowned and viewed. It's not just the sport aspect of it; it's also entertainment. There's a big form of entertainment, and we've seen that with Conor McGregor and other people that have these, you know, very, very huge personas, right? They really sell the fights so much that you get people involved to watch them win or watch them lose. Now more so on both sides. So it's just getting people invested. The fights are going to be the fights for sure. You know, they're going to be good fights, hopefully. But also having that extra entertainment in there, because it's just what it is. It is also entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah. Because let me tell you something, Cain. Okay. Here's the thing. You may not be, you're like, Wendy, stop talking about drama. I'm sorry. I'm a girl. What do you expect? But let me tell you something. You don't talk like a big talk, but that look on your face is extremely intense, very intimidating. You don't have to say anything. I mean, and you know exactly what you're doing. I mean, you look your opponent in the eyes and it's pretty much game over just with your eye contact. You know you're doing that too. You do you practice this look? Because it's intense.
No, it's just I guess just the feelings come out, you know. The time to go to war feelings. Yeah.
Ooh, okay, that's what I was talking about. Outside of the ring, outside of the cage, obviously it's just an entertainment, but you check in, right?
Yeah.
Right before you go to war, you get your mind in that place where you want to like take that person out.
Yeah.
That's good. I get it.
Yeah. It's translates over to just, again, going deep with yourself, you know. It's that, right? Going to war, being in a relationship, you know, be with your kids. Like you're just there so much in the present that you're gonna give it your all.
Yeah.
Right? It's that. Yeah. And we have to be certain people at different times.
Yep. I love everything about you. You have such a great role model, such a great presence. I love how you handle life and just your ongoing improvement. It's amazing. I already was a fan, but I'm even more of a fan now.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so I can't even believe that we've already been talking for an hour. I have to bring you back. Can I get you back on?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, good. Because I want you to have the final word. I want you to tell your fans and everybody who loves you anything that you want about, you know, where you're at right now and just what you want to say to all of them who have supported you so much.
Yeah, just to everyone for all the support. Thank you forever. I love you forever. You're in this journey with me, and it's never going to stop. So thank you.
Short, sweet, to the point. I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Cain. Seriously, don't go anywhere. I want to be able to say goodbye to you on the other side. But to everybody watching, I just want to thank you all so much for coming and joining us. And don't forget, like I said, the UFC. WOLFpak is the official bag of the UFC, and we support all the athletes. And we love to hear about, how you got to where you are. And until next time, everyone, join us again. We will see you on the flip side.